Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my podcast, The Timira Theory. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining us. Say your name.
Stephanie DuBois.
She is our special guest today, and The Timira Theory is a podcast that celebrates the accomplishments and victories of people from all walks of life, hosted by Tamira Hudson. So, what is your job? We're just going to get straight into it.
I am a licensed funeral director and embalmer for the state of Ohio.
Okay. And can you explain what a funeral director does?
Well, a funeral director is one that helps to, number one, to show compassion to families who have lost their loved ones. We're there to help, to lead, to guide them through the process of burying or cremating their loved ones. We're there to show them the way to give dignity to their loved ones as they do the process of giving them their resting place.
Okay. And what kind of education is involved to become a funeral director?
A lot of education. I attended the Cincinnati College of Mortuary Science. I did receive my associate's degree first, and then afterwards received my bachelor's degree to become a licensed funeral director. So yes, we took mighty lot of classes, different classes we had to take, such as anatomy and psychology and embalming, and we had to learn the parts of the caskets, and we had to learn every part, bones, muscles, everything of the body. So we had quite a few, microbiology, business. We had quite a few courses that we had to take to graduate.
Okay, and was it difficult? Was it very difficult?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was, especially for a mother that I have 3 children. And I was trying to raise them at the same time of going to school and trying to get my education. Plus, I was working a job. So, therefore, I was doing all of this at one time. And yes, it was very difficult. Nothing comes easy when you really want to achieve something. And this has been something I wanted to achieve since I was in the 3rd grade. So, I finally got it achieved. I did go away to college in 1970, 71, but I did not complete. And then I came back, got married, and started having children, and did not complete what I was doing. And I was determined that I was going to be a funeral director. So therefore, I had to put in the extra work in order to obtain the goal that I was trying to reach.
I'm glad you were very dedicated and made your dreams come true.
Well, the one thing I learned many years ago is, and I always said that I did not want my dream to go to the grave with me. I wanted my dream. So because there is too many patents, dreams, copyrights, songs, books that are in the grave that never were published, never came out. So my determination was that I did not want Stephanie's dream to go in the ground. And so therefore I had to pursue and to go after what I wanted. That was my determination. I needed to finish it. I needed to accomplish that.
Okay. What made you want to become a funeral director?
Well, from a kid, I always wanted to be a funeral director. We used to, this is true, this is a true story now. Mm-hmm. We used to bury kittens and cats and different, puppies, and, there was some birds, different animals that, like a mom could have kittens and stuff, and they did not live. So I would pretend like I was the funeral director and just pursue, burying them in shoe boxes and digging holes in the ground and stuff like that from a young kid. And then as I began to get older, I just decided, hey, I want to pursue being a funeral director. So from the 3rd grade, I had put in my mind that that's what I wanted to do. So I went after it.
How many years have you been doing it so far?
At this point, my license is 27 years.
Ooh, nice.
For the state of Ohio.
What is one of the most memorable cases you've ever done?
Oh my God. Well, I guess the most memorable would be the burial of my mom. Mm-hmm. I had my mom, she passed, and we had her funeral, her body. I had her 11 extra days prior to her final services. And I think that would be the most memorable. She was my masterpiece. Mm-hmm. And I had the opportunity to get her ready, get everything together. So, yes, that's my most memorable right there.
Okay. What do you enjoy about doing it, about the job?
I think that the comfort to the family, being a pastor and a minister, that helps as well when it comes to comforting families during this time. Many times when people have loved ones, they've lost loved ones, they don't know what to do, how to do. So we are there to give direction. We are there to give guidance, and we're there to be a comfort to the family. And I think basically, with the fact that we want to, even in the embalming process, want to disinfect and preserve the body to the best of our ability, we do that and treat people just like they were our loved ones. So I just love the fact that I'm there, that I can speak a word to the family, or I can comfort the family or guide them in the right direction.
That's beautiful. Have you ever been scared or nervous to work?
No, I haven't. This was something I always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So no, even in school, I thought I would be, but I really wasn't. So this is something that, I believe that God called me to, and He gave me the ability and the destiny to walk it out. But no, I've never been scared or afraid to do the work.
Okay, so these few questions, they're sort of for people who want to become funeral directors. So mm-hmm. What are the hours like?
Oh my God. Before or after you get your license?
Both.
Okay, before is hours and hours and hours of studying. Hours of, I walk the streets a many a day with index cards, trying to learn, trying to retain, trying to keep up. It's a lot of testing that has to be done. We have to take a test in funeral directing, and we take a test as on state levels for embalming. So you have 2 exams that you have to take. So it's a lot of studying. It was a lot of midnight hours that we were up trying to do team study and going on. Afterwards, your life does not belong to you. You are on call, sometimes 24 hours. you're very busy during the day working at the funeral home and then being on call at night. For a while, we carried our beepers, and then we went to the answering services. So, I mean, you could get a call anytime during the night, anytime during the day. You know, that's just life. That's what goes along with being a funeral director and embalmer.
How is the pay?
Whoa. Well, the pay depends on who you're working for. I can't say that it's all bad, but I can't say that it's all good. Like I said, it depends on who you're working for. It paid the bills. I'll say that. That's what I'll say. It did pay the bills, but it depends on what funeral home you're working for. Whether they, have the finances to pay you a larger salary. So I can't really say it's a good or a bad, but like I said, it will pay the bills.
What tips do you have for others who want to become funeral directors?
Well, the first tip I would give would be, first of all, know that this is a field that you want to be in. Mm-hmm. This particular field is not for everyone. This particular field is not for someone, first of all, that doesn't have patience. You're going to have patience to deal with people. All of your families are not going to be good families. All of them are not going to be bad families, but there's some that you're going to have to deal with that comes in with attitudes. Some come in, basically because they have not done what they're supposed to do for their loved one, and they're angry and upset. But what my most beautiful tip is, number one, is to know that this is the field that you would love to get into. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of bodies. You can't be afraid of what you see, because you're going to see a lot. You're going to see things you've never seen in your life. So you have to be prepared to really want to be in this particular field.
Are there certain classes or programs people aren't required to take, but you suggest that they do?
Just a few. It's not a whole lot, but then most of the time they give you in the curriculum, they give you pretty much, like, such as death and dying, how to handle families when they have crises or lost a loved one, how to handle that situation. There's some classes that help you to know where to find resources that you can refer people to when they don't have the finances that they need to bury their loved ones. So it's a few other classes that you can use. Most of all is knowing your resources, knowing what you can do to help and to guide and direct people to where they can get the finances to bury their loved ones.
Okay, so this was a really short one. This is our last question. How has working with bodies and your job just overall affected you or made you a different or better person?
Well, I'll tell you, it has done a lot for me. It changed my life as far as learning how to be compassionate, learning to have patience, learning to do what God has called me to do. I felt like this was ministry to me, and ministering to the families was one of my number one priorities. Even now, I still step in whenever there's a need for me to step in to help other families or help families when I go home to Ohio. I'm in North Carolina, but I do not work in the funeral business here because my license was not reciprocal, and I just didn't have the patience to go back through school here in North Carolina. So I just used my license in Ohio, but it has helped me to be a better person. It has helped me to be able to walk out life a lot different than I would have not fulfilling the dream and the vision I've had all my life.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today and all your information and answers. Is there anything you want to say as closing?
The only thing I would say, number one, is thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast today. And I really, really, really would love to let people know that they need to prepare for death. Death is inevitable. It's going to happen. You need to prepare. If you don't have insurance or you don't have monies in the bank or whatever, you need to prepare to have something in place to give your loved one a proper resting place. So my advice to each and every one of you all is to do your best. Do everything you can. Don't leave that burden on your family, but make preparations. If you haven't started, start today. Putting money aside and or either getting an insurance policy to be able to put your loved ones away in their proper resting places.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. You can say your name once again.
Stephanie DuBois.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. So thank you for joining again, and bye-bye.